Yo, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope folks are doing good. We're going to take just about 3 minutes before we get started. So let folks file in for 3 minutes. In the meantime, if you want to put down, I don't know, instead of like where you're from, because everyone always does that, maybe like something fun you did this past weekend. Like, did anyone do anything for fun? I'll tell you, I just had my wife and I, we have a 3-month-old son now. And this was the first time I was able to do like a daddy, his name's Arthur, a daddy Arthur day, kind of take him to the park. And I have one of those little baby carriers. So I have like him like strapped on my front. And, luckily his mom got to sleep and we did a whole day in the park together. It was pretty freaking awesome. So let me see here in the chat, anyone do anything else fun this weekend? If you want to say where you're from, that works too. Sweet. St. Louis has some nice weather finally. Yes, it does. It's like a beautiful, like 70, 72 Fahrenheit, which I think is about as good as it gets. Well, as we're waiting for folks to file in here, pretty pumped about this webinar. And what I'm going to introduce to you all today is, we're titling it What Balto is Building and Why. But the and why is probably the most important piece. We're going over what are we seeing is happening in contact center AI and the contact center space in general. And amid all of these big industry shifts and technological shifts and societal shifts, how do we make sure that the stuff that Balto is delivering to the market is the absolute best, most valuable things we can do? So that's what we're going to jump into today. So we'll get started here. And actually, Justin, let me see if I can maybe share, because that animation didn't come up. So I'll share my own screen for a second. Alrighty, let's try this. Cool. So what is happening in the contact center AI space? So I don't know if anyone here is a science nerd at all. I think science is like among the coolest things in the world. And now it's so much easier to learn because you can just go on to ChatGPT and ask it questions about, quantum physics or questions about general relativity and all the amazing stuff like that. And one of the things that I learned about is this concept called LUCA, the last universal common ancestor. And basically what's happening is there's a field called astrobiology, and they are trying to figure out the origin of life. Like, how did life get created? And when you look at where DNA split off, when you look at all the different organisms of the world, what they're trying to figure out is what was the organism that split off in all the other organisms? Like, where did the bacteria come from? The eukaryotes, the multicellular, organisms, and then the archaea. Where did all these come from? And I think you can actually run a similar exercise in the contact center space. There's so many different players in contact center AI, different folks doing different things. Where did everybody come from? And you can kind of start by, breaking it down into a few different areas that people started at. Is this really the best way to describe it? No. But some people started, Balto started in the real-time guidance space, helping agents be more effective live in their interactions with customers by giving them guidance on their screens. Some folks started kind of in the speech analytics, conversation intelligence space, focused on a lot of like post-call analytics and digging through conversations to find useful stuff. And then other folks started on the quality management side, allowing folks to do QA scoring, better or faster. There's of course a million actually of these branches. You could even say some folks started on the telephony side, but that can get grouped into voice and digital, right? Those are basically the channels underlying it. So you kind of have all these different capabilities, but fundamentally the capabilities are interacting with customers in some way, shape, or form, and that's voice, digital, or both. But that's fundamentally not where everybody came from either. The starting place that all of these companies experience is that everybody, when you're starting at a company, starts as a point solution. Even think about like, big contact center telephony CCaaS giants, folks like RingCentral. The company name is RingCentral for a reason. It started out in that area. And now look at all the different areas that companies like RingCentral, have gone into. Think about NICE inContact, or now NICE. Used to be NICE inContact. So bringing together multiple point solutions to come to a platform. So since everybody started at one spot, what have all the contact center AI companies been doing? They've been building up broad platforms. So everyone started from some place, wherever they started from, as a point solution, and have built up all of these different capabilities over the years. And as they built up these different AI capabilities, things like QA automation, things like speech analytics or conversation intelligence, things like AI voice agents, chatbots, AI assist. As people have built up all these different areas, they've decided that there's a few areas that are more important than others and have indexed up on them. So put more resources on a few areas they want to differentiate on. So when you think about all the different contact center AI players in the space, this is kind of how you can think about it. Everybody is building a broad AI platform, and each of the different players are finding areas to index up and to focus on for their points of differentiation. But one of the challenges is in the space. That means that all of the messages are trying to represent all of the capabilities that these AI players are doing. So everyone's message sounds the same. Everyone's message sounds like end-to-end AI agents, conversation intelligence, and automation to empower your contact center, drive efficiency, and enhance the customer experience. Feel free to throw it in the chat. Like, have you seen a value proposition that looks like that, feels like that, reads like that? I know that I see them all over the place. So how do you, as either someone who is a leader in the space and following it, or somebody who is a buyer in the space trying to figure out what's what, how do you basically divide up the world, disambiguate this really crazy value proposition into things you can use to figure out who is building what? Well, I think that you can actually break it into these 5 market movements. When you step back and say, like, what are the big trends in contact center? I would say these are maybe all of them. Obviously there's others, for example, the very delicate and constantly changing balance of nearshore, onshore, nearshore, offshore. That's always in flux, and depending on different economic circumstances tends to flow one way or the other. But in terms of like the big overall sweeping movements, I think this about covers it. Move to digital, automated agents, insights, super agents, and back office automation. Move to digital is the trend that we're seeing of more companies handling more volume through digital means like chat, text, and email. I put here that the speed of change is slow. And I think there's 2 reasons for that. Obviously we can just all feel that we've been talking about moving to digital for many years. And it's been slowly creeping up, and that digital is taking over more of the overall volume. So we've been feeling it. But why is that the case? I think it's 2 reasons. The first is that the big thing that is driving the move to digital is the aging newest generation. It is a generational change question, where folks who are more familiar with digital means are coming into the workforce, and folks who are less familiar with digital means are leaving the workforce. That is not a 1 year or 2 year thing. That is like a 5-year, 10-year sort of transition. So it's inherently slow for that reason. And the second is that the digital medium also has competition. Like as digital experiences get better, voice experiences also get better. And as new, interesting, innovative things come up in digital, new, interesting, innovative ways to use voice come up. So really interesting to see that the process by which digital is taking more volume is kind of a slow, gradual thing that happens to do with a changing consumer, less than there's some big digital innovation and everyone has to go use chatbots because they're way better than voice bots. We haven't quite seen that. So that gets us to automated agents. And this is the trend of contact centers looking to completely manage volume within an AI agent, or rather have an AI agent completely manage interaction. Of course, this has been done on the chatbot level for some time. And chatbots have gotten better and better, more focused on natural language conversation, using these LLMs, large language models, rather than dialogue flow, where you're basically creating a decision tree for every possible way that conversation could go. A lot of the best players are actually combining those features where you have an LLM, but you kind of set up guardrails around it. That sort of capability has existed in chat for a while and now is coming to voice. So these automated agents are getting good. Everyone is kind of beating down the doors saying tier 1 service, it's going to be totally automated. And I think Balto's perspective is that the world will continue to march in that direction. The technology is advancing surprisingly fast, and that some innovative customers who are piloting this are getting good results from it, and that it can handle some of the simple use cases like appointment setting, confirmations, and scheduling reminders really well. But when it comes to replacing tier 1 service, like truly being able to operate at human level, this technology is not there yet. I think it's super promising. I think a handful of players who are investing in it are going to do really well. But it's not quite there yet. So the change here in the uptake is going to be medium. Before we have AI agents running around autonomously handling interactions for every contact center, I think we're not going to see that in a year. We might see that in a few years. So now we're looking at insights, super agents, and back office automation. Insights is a simple one, but people have been talking about it for literally decades. The ability to go into your conversation data and figure out information that allows you to make better business decisions. It can be as simple as give me a breakdown of why my customers are calling. And then, within all of those main reasons, why are each of those reasons happening? It can be as complex as picking out a very specific business question that you're working on, perhaps related to where your leads are coming in and how different lead sources are interacting, and trending over time, how often those are coming up in your conversations. But the basic idea with insights is look at your conversation data, picking out something useful to help you make better business decisions. Super agents is the ability to power agents. So to have actually your human agents have a co-pilot of sorts that rides along with them, the next level of agent assist. How can we make agents like multiples faster than they are today, give them the right answers always at their fingertips, help them stay compliant in every single interaction, convert every single opportunity that's reasonable for them to convert. Can we give humans those AI type of abilities? And that's a trend that we're hearing a lot in contact center too. And then the last is back office automation. Think about any of the processes that aren't front office, where you could say a front office process is something where it is customer facing. So it's not customer facing, but it's work that supports work that's customer facing. That's kind of a simple definition for back office automation. We'll revisit, but folks are looking to try to get real efficiency levers in the back office, find the repeatable work, find the stuff that humans don't need to be doing. So humans can be doing things like solving problems, applying creativity, meeting with other people, doing kind of constant change. Those are the sort of things that you want people doing. So these are the 5 big market movements. And our focus at Balto is to focus on the last 3. Insights, super agents, back office automation, all of these capabilities are here, not like we're waiting for them, not like they're close and, we're going to be able to make it better in the next couple of years. Like, this technology is here and the market is saying, yes, we are comfortable with it and we're ready to buy it. So this is where we're going to be focusing, our R&D resources in 2025. The move to digital, Balto is going to be investing in getting chat, SMS, email, ingesting all of that data so it works into your QA workflow and your coaching workflows and things like that. And then our plan for automated agents is that we want to tackle that actually as a patient and strategic second mover. That is, I would say, a counterintuitive approach in the year 2025. There are literally thousands, literally over 1,000 companies that are building some sort of automated voice bot or chat bot using combinations of LLMs and dialogue flows, literally over 1,000. And I do think a few of them are going to be massive winners, and that's going to be really, really great. I actually especially believe in like what you might call like the framework players, the players that are building out frameworks that allow you to build your own automated voice agent, or you to build something and incorporate that product into your product offerings for your customers. I think those framework players will do well, but there's literally 1,000+ companies in this. We're going to let that bloody water kind of figure itself out over 2025. Technology has a little more ways to go. The pricing is still, like in many cases, prohibitively expensive. There's so much competition that this will get better, and this experience is going to get better really fast. Like I think definitely expect in 2026 to have a number of success stories that we're starting to hear about, to have the technology really truly feel conversational. But we're not going to get in that water right now. We're going to keep our heads down, focus on building awesome insights, super agents, and back office automation, and learning from all the other players running after this trend. It's valuable, but I think we can be patient, and that would be a good strategic move. So then, what is Balto offering? Insights, super agents, and back office automation. You can consider this like our big 3 product themes. And this is where we'd be dedicating our time and roadmap in 2025. Within these 3 themes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 different modules here. The 3 main modules in Insights, Balto GPT, our Insights Builder, and Insights Emails. In Super Agents, it's our AI Checklist, AI Answers, Agent GPT, and AI Notes. And in Back Office Automation, it's Quality, Coaching, and Compliance. I'll run through all these, maybe like a sentence each. Balto GPT, you can ask any question in natural language over your call recordings, and Balto will look through the call recordings and give you an answer. Insights Builder, you can ask a question to the Insights Builder to give you back data on how often things are happening and how that's trending over time, and Balto will do that. Insights Emails, automated emails that look through your data and go out to your executives on a weekly basis. The AI Checklist listens for things that agents need to do and accomplish on their calls, like the main guide points of each call, and checks it off automatically as it's done, keeps a record of it. AI Answers is listening for dynamically what is happening in the conversation, everything the representative says, everything the customer says, and in real time will pop up answers to the customer's question right there live on the agent's computer screen. Agent GPT gives the agent the ability to just go actively search for something. So rather than using voice to listen for what's happening and pop it up automatically, the agent also has the ability to go in and actively search. And then AI Notes, real-time notes ready within 2 seconds, I believe, after the call is done, generated about all the details that you care about. These are customizable, so you can have it, pick the fields you want. If you want to say, what did the customer say their income was? You can have the note taker take that. Quality automation. Our perspective is that the QA space can automate scoring, or almost all the scoring. So you can have AI automate almost all your QA scoring, and then your quality team can focus on digging into the exceptions, the things that that did not go as they should have, and in looking at the quality data and elevating insights for leadership. So QA should focus less on scoring, let the AI do that, instead focus on exceptions and elevating insights for leadership. Coaching, we want to prepare coaching packets for supervisors right there at their fingertips, so they don't need to run through and look for calls to coach. Instead, it's right there in front of them. And then compliance, if we have the ability to scan 100% of calls and use an LLM to figure out what's happening in each call. Why don't we scan 100% of calls to find every single compliance issue in the conversation and put them in a single location where you can see all of your compliance issues in one spot? So that's what we've done. So this is what the 3 themes we're building around. And if you are a Balto customer, you'll notice either you already have this menu or you're going to have it in the next few weeks. We're building a product around it. So you're going to see, there's a whole insights tab for you to go and do that digging. Coaching, compliance, and quality are 3 back office automation components. And then, the ability to help agents in real time with guidance and help them right when the call is done, reduce their after call work with notes. So you can kind of consider this the big 6 use cases that Balto is prioritizing. And one of the things I'm hearing now is that use cases are especially important because people want to make sure that when they get AI, they know exactly what it's going to do and it's going to do that thing well. So, it's not about just buy a tool and figure it out. Like, make sure that the tool can accomplish things very effectively and is focusing its attention appropriately. And we're focusing on insights, coaching, compliance, quality, guidance, notes. So what do each of those things have? Insights, coaching, compliance, quality, guidance, notes. Well, each of those, an AI is doing some form of high volume, repeatable work so a human doesn't have to. Across a high volume of calls, doing something where you're doing the same sort of task again and again and again, checking for a compliance problem, finding and seeing if this call is good and meaty and coachable, listening for things the agent, the customer is asking and popping up an answer automatically. High volume, repeatable work so a human doesn't have to. So you can kind of take that and say, okay, how do you then chop off in each of these 6 use cases, each of these different types of jobs? How can you chop off different work? And you can summarize each one of these use cases in a sentence. Insights, AI organizes your data and shares its findings. Coaching, AI prepares coaching packets for your supervisors. For compliance, AI finds compliance issues. For quality, AI scores your calls. Guidance, AI helps agents on their calls. And for notes, AI takes notes. Super simple. So when you're thinking about like, what does Balto do? Or if you're in the market for another AI, they should be able to provide this level of clarity of what they do. Because if they're not able to, then you might find yourself running in circles as a customer. So what does it do? This is what Balto does. So let's go back to that definition we talked about between front office and back office, where you can consider front office customer-facing work, and you can consider back office any work that supports customer-facing work. So how exactly is back office work done in the contact center today? Using that definition, you could consider coaching, helping agents, helping the front line do a good job. You could consider that a form of back office. You can consider quality, applying consistent standards across all calls so agents can do a better job. You can consider that back office. And compliance, making sure that in all your interactions, the agents did the proper thing in the interaction. You can consider that a form of back office. So how are those roles, coaching, compliance, and quality done today? Well, you can generate a very basic job description for each of the jobs. And for a customer service supervisor, it might look like this, 10 bullet points. And if you skim through it, you go, yep, all that sounds about right. And if you take a minute and say, okay, how much of this could an AI take off the supervisor's plate? It's about 4 of those items. So AI is going to be really good at monitoring the team's performance and tracking how well people are working toward goals and standards. It's going to do a really good job of providing feedback right to the agents or to the supervisors to then provide to the agents and just say, hey, here's where you did well on this call, or here's where you could have improved. It's going to do a really good job of making sure that for every interaction, proper compliance standards were met. And it's going to do a good job of taking what it is analyzing and reporting that out for management. These are things that's very reasonable for an AI to do. But an AI is not going to supervise and lead the team I don't think we're going to have a robot sitting there around the conference room anytime soon at the conference table, asking everybody how their weekend was and doing an icebreaker to start the week. I don't think so. It's probably not handling the most complex issues. It's probably not training your new staff. You might have AI involved in the training, but it's probably not the one who's actually doing all the training. So you can kind of see that within any given job, parts of it are very suitable for AI to take on, and parts of it are less suitable. Same sort of exercise with compliance manager. Parts of it are very suitable, parts of it are not. You probably do not want the AI to develop your compliance program because you probably have a lot of particular preferences on how this is done. And knowing your business and your industry and other players in the space and your career background, you probably want to make sure that things are done the way you want them to, rather than just say, AI, please tell me, what our compliance should be. But you probably are pretty comfortable with AI is monitoring and evaluating calls and ensuring compliance with legal standards and company policies. That's something that AI can do, high volume and repeatable. High volume and repeatable work at scale, great for AI, not great for people. So again, now we saw where the supervisor, AI was able to take 4 out of those 10 capabilities. Here, AI is able to do about 5 out of 9 of them. Right? And obviously, is it doing every single one in absolute perfect depth the way a human would do it? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. But you can kind of start to divide the world, divide your world and say, where is AI going to be most applicable in your business? Same sort of thing for quality, but I'll skip through it, for the sake of time. Everyone gets the main concept. But it's able to do about 8 out of 10 of these things that a quality analyst is doing. But it's not going to be sitting around doing your continuous improvement program to make sure that you're cycling customer feedback over to marketing and to folks who are involved in the product and the service. That's probably something that's best done with people. So here's the wrap up. What portion of these jobs involves high volume, repeatable work that Balto can do? For customer service supervisor, it's about 40%, compliance manager about 56%, and quality analyst about 80%. So if these are the percentages, think about what that means in terms of how you were able to scale their work and scale their effectiveness. If it's able to do 40% of the work, that means it's about able to 2x what a supervisor is capable of. Not quite, but very close. For a compliance manager, if Balto can do 56% of this, it is able to 2x what a compliance manager is able to do. If it's doing 80% of the various tasks that a quality analyst can do, it means you can 5x what a quality analyst is capable of. This is how we should be thinking about AI right now in this era, given what technology is capable of and what it's not. It's the ability to 2x and up to 5x what people are capable of. That's the first biggest impact we're going to see. So we should be thinking about AI as taking parts of jobs rather than taking jobs. In the near term, it makes more sense to think about AI doing jobs rather than taking them. It's doing different bullets on that job description, not taking a job of a customer service supervisor. So it's not about taking jobs, it's about doing jobs. AI is doing jobs. And you could consider that, one of those human bullet points, one responsibility, could be a full job for an AI. So I'll go back a couple slides and just show you an example there. Conducting root cause analysis for service failures and suggesting corrective actions. You can set up basically a bot. You can set up an AI worker inside Balto that is doing exactly that. That is looking at the various service failures that you have and constantly figuring out what is the root cause and what could you do differently. So that's like one AI, if you will. That's almost one job. The beauty of what people can do is that people are able to take all these different responsibilities and encapsulate them into one job. AI is not there yet. So you could say that, one human responsibility, one bullet point under job description, what is just a piece of a human job is actually a whole job for an AI. So when you continue to follow this thread, you can think about where this leads. And Balto, our focus is to build and deploy a use case centric AI workforce that completes contact center jobs in partnership with humans. So think about, you have the ability to have all of these job descriptions for all the different folks in your contact center, and you can break them into their bullet points, find where AI is useful, and have these AI workers like go throughout your contact center and take various different responsibilities, turn them into the AI's full-time job to do that one responsibility really well. And now you kind of have an AI workforce set up alongside a human workforce. This is where the world is going. Like right now, it's very easy to conceptualize what it means to have a headcount, right? Everyone can think about your company and you know about how many employees you have. You say 5,000, or you have 1,000, or you have 50, whatever the number is. You can conceptualize that. But it's about to get murkier because you're about to have some number of human workers and some number of AI workers. And we're starting to have like head count, and then I don't know, the other one, you call it machine count. But you're going to have a hybrid workforce of both humans and AIs that are pointed at all the responsibilities in your company. And you're going to be thinking about how you can stitch together these two different types of workers as effectively as possible. You're going to have AI prioritizing high volume, repeatable work, and they're going to have humans prioritizing relationship building, strategy, judgment, and creativity. This is where it's going. So Balto wants to be your AI workforce for the contact center. You're going to have all of these AI workers, and they're going to be pointed at doing various jobs and responsibilities within your contact center. Work with Balto to be the AI workforce for your contact center. Balto will be the one that stands up these AIs that are crushing specific use cases, turning human responsibilities into their full-time job, and allowing you guys to achieve 2x, 5x productivity depending on the specific job type that it's doing. Really appreciate everybody's time today. I had a ton of fun doing this. I want to encourage everybody here to reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can hit this QR code and follow me on LinkedIn, and I'll post a lot more about how Balto is your AI workforce for the contact center. Send me a note and we can connect. And then also, of course, for anyone who wants a demo, you can go to balto.ai and quickly find a demo. There's like a get demo button right there in the middle of the page. It should be easy. And we also, I believe, have that resource right here at the bottom. So you can see there's a little banner below me, book a demo with Balto. You can see the QR code to book a demo on the left, and subscribe to the newsletter on the right. I'll take a couple questions if we have them before we hop off. I see one here from Clay. Thank you so much, Clay. Can you build AI chatbots to completely run the customer contact center? It's funny because if you had asked Klarna 2 years ago, year and a half ago, they would have said yes. In fact, they did say yes. They said, "Oh my God, we're getting completely rid of humans. Bots are doing all the service." And then only a few weeks ago, they said humans are a very important element in our strategy and we're hiring. So I would say that when that has been empirically tested, the answer right now is no. That being said, is it actually feasible to do it? I'm sure. But what that means is you're going to have some portion of customers that simply cannot get what they want and are frustrated, and it's unresolved, and they might complain, and it might actually not be able to get service that they truly need. Which can lead to kind of FTC sort of issues. So is it feasible? I'm sure somebody somewhere can do it and just suffer the consequences of it. But is it advisable? I'd say absolutely not. Thank you so much for the question, Clay. And I'll give folks just another maybe 30 seconds if you got one more. Happy to take another. And that was an action-packed 34 minutes. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you again for joining, and I'll see you all in the next webinar.